Just outside of Chicago, Illinois, in the city of Elmhurst, busy guy Vince LoCascio visits a hidden gem in the heart of downtown Elmhurst. With special guest, Carlo Oliveri of Revolution Guitar. They are busy guys, so sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Busy Guy Show. My name is Vince LoCascio, and I've got another really busy guy here, Carlo Oliveri. He's with Revolution Guitars here in downtown Elmhurst. Carlo.
Vince, how are you?
Nice to have you here.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Yeah. So this is your little dream world here. How to get started with? You started with a saxophone. Your Uncle Mario.
Yeah, music's been in my life pretty much as started at a young age. My Uncle Mario, my grandfather, both clarinet players. So my Uncle Mario took me to the music shop, get my first musical instrument, which was an alto saxophone, and I did that for 4 or 5 years through grade school.
You still play the saxophone, or have one?
I wish I did.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do not. So when I was about 14, I ended up going to Roselle Music and trading that saxophone in for my first guitar.
A PV?
A PV Predator. It was a Stratocaster-looking guitar in like a really cool teal blue color, and I loved it.
You know, along the way, when I was looking, PV is the same. You're talking about the same company that makes amplifiers.
Yeah, I think they're based. They might be based here in Chicago, or American-made guitars, really great guitars. You can still find them actually for a pretty decent price, and they're great. They're solid.
And lessons, did you continue to take them for a long time, or?
So when I got the guitar over at Roselle Music, which I think is still there, but I ended up taking lessons with a guy named George Bellis, who is probably one of the best guitarists I've ever heard in my life. Extremely fast, kind of rock guy. So mesmerizing.
So, all right, so you got this PV, and then it says in your bio, I was reading that you got into buying and trading and selling.
Yeah, so Roselle Music was a really cool shop. They had, a lot of various instruments, but their guitar selection was really great. I mean, they had a great used selection. And at the time, it was like the early 90s, kind of mid-90s. You'd walk in and you'd see a bunch of Les Pauls, Gibson Les Pauls, Gibson Flying Vs, stuff like that. And George, his main guitar at the time was a 1980s Gibson Flying V. And I was like, okay, well,
that's what you gotta have.
Yeah, I gotta have that one. So I ended up buying a couple of those, and you could bring a guitar in there and trade up or trade. So I was constantly just trying to figure out what I'm looking for, searching for that one.
Back then there was more local smaller guitar shops. I mean, now we've got Guitar Center and Sam Ashton.
Right.
What would you say compares you to a shop like this to opposed to the big, if you want to call them box stores?
Yeah, so I mean, the shop here, we don't really carry too much as far as new stuff, so we're not like a Fender dealer or anything like that. So everything you see in the shop is handpicked by myself. I buy what I think is really cool and unique, and provide that basically to the customer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And back then, before the big word internet was out, what were you doing to find stuff?
Boy, back then it was basically you have to just kind of, pawn shop, guitar shop, run around and see what you could pick off the wall. I mean, Guitar Center, that was around as well. So I was just constantly running around and actually trying to find guitars and see what I like.
What's your feeling of, if you want to use the word copies? There's a Gibson guitar, Les Paul, but then there's somebody who makes a copy.
Right. Well, in the 70s and mid-70s, Ibanez was a big Japanese company. They were copying a lot of guitars.
Sounds Spanish.
Yeah, they were doing...
You're a busy guy. If it's for me, I'm not here.
They were doing a lot of Les Paul copies and stuff like that. In fact, they got sued. So those guitars are basically referred to as lawsuit copies. But really great guitars, half the price, and you can get into them pretty cheap. So I don't mind them.
Yeah. As far as copies, is it more price, or do you think is the price that much of a change in quality?
I
Does
don't
it make
think so.
sense?
I
that
mean,
question?
you know, when you're looking at guitars, as far as you know, the big name brands, the Gibsons and stuff like that, you're buying the brand. Most, you know, a lot of that stuff nowadays, the quality has kind of gone out the window from what it was. You know, Gibson started in the 1940s, and some of the earlier stuff, I mean, you can't even touch. You know, 1950s Les Paul could range anywhere from $20,000 to $350,000 if you get the 1959 certain color. I mean, so nowadays, you know, Gibson, they're putting out some good stuff, but they went through a period of time where, you know, people didn't even want to buy and pay that price. So they were looking for other brands that were basically based off their models. But
Is that what Epiphone is?
Epiphone was their own brand originally, and they, you know, combined with Gibson. So Epiphone was made in the U.S. just like Gibson, but now they're basically made, you know, in various places like China, Korea. But it's basically a more inexpensive version of a Gibson. But they have their own.
Well, they certainly have the name record there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're
Gibson,
great.
Fender.
Yep, those are the top two dogs right now. So, but they make great guitars still. Gretsch, of course.
So okay, so now you're just doing this out of your house for a while,
Right.
buying a trade, and then how did Revolution come about?
So, you know, basically, once the internet kind of hit, you know, you start there. You start opening up your little, you know, eBay page and stuff like that. And then that's kind of how I started. Kind of listing guitars, getting stuff going. You know, I'll play one for a little while, get tired of it, try to trade up. And
Do you do that though? Is there certain guitars that you have from the
never
very
ends.
beginning?
I wish, no, you know, my problem is I'll get rid of something and then
Wish you had
regret
it.
it. Yeah, so I'm always hunting for that guitar, you know. And now I've learned that, okay, I'm going to hang on to stuff a little bit. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 guitars that are my personal ones that I don't want to get rid of.
Well, the last time I was here, you don't have it today.
I didn't bring
there
it,
was
yeah.
a new find that you have.
Yeah, I was
What
really
was that?
really happy with that guitar. It's a 1953 Gibson ES5 that I got over through some friends of mine over at Chicago Music Exchange, which is another great store. And yeah, big shout out to Daniel over there for taking care of me on that one. But
Thank you, Daniel.
it's a basically a arch top, which more of a jazz guitar. It's beautiful. And it's a player. It's not mint condition. You know, I could take it out and play it. That's another thing is I'm not very, you know, collectors kind of get into that box where they want that untouched, you know, they want the hang tags, they want the everything mint and perfect, and that's not really what we do here. Everything here, you know, you can pull off the wall, you can play it out. You're not going to be worried about anything happening to it.
Well, something
not
that
what
you also mentioned about is that you try to price for the working class. So tell me a little bit about that statement, or you know.
Everything that I carry here is going to be, you know, highest $2,000 or something like that. Sometimes we'll get into the, you know, a little bit higher end, but everything you can pull off the wall here is a couple $100, $100 and up, anywhere from the in that
Reasonable.
range. Yeah, reasonable price. Sorry, guys.
He's a busy guy. That means the business is rolling.
Yeah, we're cooking today. So yeah, but everything is working class prices. You can come in. We're all musicians here that work here, so including myself.
I had a question for you about how things change in value. As an example, muscle cars.
Yeah.
So all the guys about my age, or my whatever you want to call baby boomers, as they have more disposable income, you know, the prices go up, down, they fluctuate, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Do guitars do the same kind of thing?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we spoke about this before, where Meacham, the auction.
Oh yeah.
They're actually bringing in guitars now. So guitars is the same kind of concept. There's going to be the market fluctuating, you know, based on demand and availability. But it's really funny. I mean, right now it's an interesting time. There's just so many rare older guitars out there that are surfacing. I don't know if it's, you know, people, the boomers and stuff like that are getting rid of stuff.
Let's just face it, guys are dying. The
That
estate
too.
is selling it off.
Yeah.
Or just people are, you know, what are they called, downsizing.
No, I know, I agree, and it's concerning in a way as well, because there's so much fakes out there. You know what I mean? And if you're, buyer beware. If you guys are out there, make sure you're buying through a reputable dealer. And if you're gonna drop $200,000-$300,000 on a guitar,
then you're rich.
Yeah, I guess they have to just
But
make sure you're checking out on
There's
it.
equipment out there for that, going for those prices.
Oh, absolutely. The 1959 Les Paul, again with the Gibson, is, they only made it, I believe, a limited amount of those in that color, and that's Jimmy Page's guitar.
But it's because he played it. That's why it's so valuable.
No, not his, exact guitar, but yes, that was the sound that a lot of guys were looking for. It's, it's a combination of the wood, the pickups, just everything about that guitar.
I don't know if it's a myth, you tell me, but with Les Paul, somehow he broke his arm, and when they had to set it, they reset it so he could just have it in this position. Did you ever hear that?
Yeah, I did. I saw some pictures on that. Les Paul, what a fantastic guitarist. And, he was more of a jazz guy, but just it's just great to see how that guitar, his model of guitar, the Les Paul, is shaped blues, rock, so much different genres of music. But, yeah, if it wasn't for Les Paul, where would we be, right?
I don't know. We'd be down the street.
Great.
Who's your clientele? Who do you see? Everybody from kids to guys my age?
Yeah, we do lessons, repairs, so we see a wide range of people. We've got a lot of kids coming in for lessons, and we also carry a wide selection of vinyl CDs. So you don't have to be a guitarist to come out, shop our inventory of music. So it's a good mix. We've got a great spot here in downtown Elmhurst. It's really a lot of musicians.
Yeah, tell me about the vinyl. For advice, first off, for people at home, how and where should they be storing their records?
Yeah, vinyl is really it's extremely sensitive. Don't put it expose it to the sunlight. You have to take care of it. It warps. It's a really interesting format. We grew up on vinyl.
Yeah.
I have a love-hate with vinyl. I think it's great, but I used to DJ, so with vinyl, and carrying that stuff around is heavy.
Yeah.
But the sound quality on a record, there's second to none. And then you're getting a beautiful, piece of art when you're looking at that sleeve and you're reading about the record. There's something that really kind of takes you in. You can't get that with an MP3 or a music file,
Yeah, you don't have that where the beauty of buying an album used to be, you take it home, you look at it.
Yeah, you get all that. You read about it, you see the poster in there.
Beatles, I believe, were the first one to put the lyrics in there.
Yes.
And then what are the other formats? Nobody has any interest in 8-tracks, cassettes.
Yeah, we sell CDs. I see cassettes popping up again, which, I don't get that one, but the sound quality on them.
At least cassette had a little bit of a decent technology where, I don't know if all the cars had it, but you could, if you press forward, it would stop at the next song.
Yeah, stuff
8
like
tracks,
that.
if you wanted to hear another song, it had 4 tracks, whatever, how it was a pain. But no interest in that. You don't sell any of that?
Well, no, we have a couple cassettes right now, just because through my distributor I picked a couple up just to have, but we don't really move too much. The vinyl does really well. People really like that, and we carry CDs as well.
And there's even artists coming out with new, if you want to call new releases on vinyl.
Everybody is pressing vinyl. In fact, it actually surpassed MP3s last year.
Did it
as
really?
far as sales, yes. So it's definitely there's a demand for it in the market. Yeah. So and it's great. You can get anybody from new artists, Taylor Swift or Beyonce, whoever the kids are into these days. Through got everything here from Frank Zappa, Grateful Dead, a lot of jazz, which is what I like.
But I don't mean not to know the look, but do you have a lot of that in the vinyl selection?
Yeah, it's a wide eclectic range. A lot of rock, a lot of jazz. I recommend coming through and doing some crate digging. The beautiful thing about vinyl, for me, what I take away from it is discovering new music on a record. You buy a record, you take it home, pop it in, and something just magical about it.
And now they're going to buy a turntable.
We carry turntables too. We've got some turntables here to.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a one-stop shop.
That's right. That's right.
Well, why don't we take just a quick little break here?
Sounds good.
And then we'll be right back with Carlo Oliveri.
So much, thank you. Some of that old neighborhood is still alive in me and in my memories. My grandparents didn't speak English. They were just happy to be in America making a living, and my generation was the first to go to school. And so it was a very big transition, I'd say, in the late 50s all the way through the 60s into America, really. I'm an Italian-American and I'm proud of it. And I'll give you a second take. Actually, I'm Sicilian-American and I'm proud of it.
The Italian-American heritage. Live it, love it, celebrate it.
Welcome back to The Busy Guy. We're here with Carlo Oliveri and Revolution Guitars in downtown Elmhurst, Illinois. And what a town it is.
It's beautiful.
Tell us a little bit about how you did find this location and what brought you here.
Sure. So a good friend of mine, Jay Clarita, owns a barber shop downstairs called JMC Barber. It's the coolest barber shop in town and around town. But, we're in the same
Did you get
building.
your haircut there?
Absolutely. I try, of course. And he saw a vacant spot open up here in this building and gave me a call. And I moved in a week later, and we've kind of been helping each other out and sending each other, clients back and forth. He's a musician as well.
Right, because in his shop, he's got guitars on display. Right?
A lot of people walk into his shop thinking it's the guitar shop. So
Yeah.
where's the guitars at? So it's a rock and roll barber, which it's kind of,
That's kind of an oxymoron,
yeah,
right?
it sure is.
Especially
they
my
got
generation who gets a haircut, right?
That's right.
So tell us about the space. So what do you've got? It looks predominantly electric guitars, or
Yeah, I buy everything here, and I'm more of an electric guy. So you're gonna find a lot of electric guitars, 6 strings. We've got some bass guitars, and I could find anything if someone comes in and says, "Hey, I want an acoustic for my daughter, or my son." But the inventory here changes consistently. It's constantly rotating in and out. So.
and needless to say, it's you've got the website, so people can search items on that.
Correct. Yeah, we're online at revolutionguitarcompany.com. We're also on eBay and a site called Reverb, which is primarily instrument based. So we're open 24 hours online, obviously, and then we do a lot of movement and through the internet as well. We ship worldwide, so
Nice.
yeah.
And I do see some percussion. You got you sell the percussion, or
So this space, actually, the drums are not for sale and stuff. They're for my band that we kind of use this spot as well as our little rehearsal area. So
tell us about the band. That's Baked
right, yeah.
Alaska.
Baked Alaska is the name of the band. We're a jazz funk band that started up when I was a young boy at the age of 15,
Wow.
right around the 16, with a bass player and a drummer, Mike McGassey, and Josh Allen, good friends of mine. We're still buddies, but the members in the band are constantly changing. We've added horns. Jason from downstairs played bass in the band for a minute. It's a constant rotation of musicians, and we have a lot of fun.
And you have a separate website for that?
We're on
Baked Alaska?
Facebook for Baked Alaska. It's BAKT Alaska, and find us on Facebook. We've also got some music on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff.
That's a good thing, because I wanted to ask you about the simplicity, of music now. Just to go back for my generation, when you heard a song on the radio, you had to either call the radio station or wait there and sit until the DJ said his name again. Now, with Spotify and Pandora and all this, you can just, who else should I say, Apple Tunes,
Right.
any song instantaneously, I could hear it. I can hear the album. It's nice to have, but it's kind of, what's your comment on that, of seeing the change from your generation?
Yeah, we're living in the information era. Anything you want or need is available at any time, extremely quickly. The thrill of the hunt is gone.
There's the word.
And it's a good and bad thing. Nowadays it doesn't take much for anybody to be a musician and put their stuff on iTunes. So there's a lot of saturation, but it's also good as far as availability. You can find anything you want and hear it.
And it's scary because it knows what I like. So now all of a sudden you
Extremely
tell
scary.
it who you like, and it's like, we know you like that song, we know you like this,
That's
which
right.
is good. You know, because then it's, you know, it'll create a playlist.
It's going to be funny to see where this is all going. I think right now it's, you know, it's kind of new to society and everybody, and it's overly available, and we'll see. I think there's going to be a kind of a circle back to the old kind of way. Here's
the example, the vinyl.
Exactly, the vinyl and stuff like that. I mean, people want to kind of go back to that, I think.
When I see it, I'm sure I'm not the first one to say it. I'm sure there's going to be a chip in your brain, and I'm going to think of a song, and all of a sudden I start to hear it. You know,
maybe I'll be able to find my car keys.
Well, they got things for that. There's a little attachment.
Right.
What about sheet music?
We don't really do too much here. We have a little bit of music, but we have a great music teacher, instructor. His name's Max, and one of the best guitarists I know as well. So,
but for you,
okay.
I mean, growing up, there used to be a place downtown called Carl Fisher. So if you wanted to learn a song, they were the mecca of it. So you could go there, you could buy the sheet music. Now I imagine everything's online.
You know, again, you know, anything you want to learn musically, there's a YouTube video on it. You know what I mean? So, and there's a PDF online. So, the days of having to go find the sheet music, I mean, you could still do that, but you know, I think people are kind of looking online a lot more for that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know I do. Like if I hear a song and I want
Sure.
to play it, I just look up, you know, Ultimate Guitars one.
Right.
Just about the guitars themselves, what advice do you have for people, like for tuning? You know, there's all kinds of tuners, even online. The phone,
Yeah, there's a snark tuner, which is really great. We carry those here. They're inexpensive. You just throw them on the headstock of the guitar and tune it up real easy. You know, we are going into cold season here in Chicago, so storing the guitar is a big thing. You want to make sure you know, it's stored properly and not exposed to the elements of the weather, because you know, they're wood. So,
and the strings expand and contract.
Correct. You know, and if that does happen, which it does, we have a great tech here as well. You know, I advise changing your strings and having it, you know, tuned up and set up, they call it, once in a while on your guitars.
And what about storage? I know myself, I've purchased a couple of the like hooks that you have.
Yeah.
But if it's long term, you should be keeping it in a case.
Yeah, they recommend putting in the case. They sell little humidifier packs that you can put in there as well.
Oh,
you know.
Okay.
I mean, but I'm guilty of it as well. All my guitars at home are on stands or on the wall. I mean, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, beautiful works of art in my opinion, and why not display them, right?
But I mean, I say if you see them, it gives you a little bit more of a, I think, of just grabbing and playing it. A little more inspiration. Yes. If it's in a case, it's like a suitcase, you know.
Right.
And then what advice would you have for somebody that just wanted to start collecting?
You know, the internet's a great spot to do research on. Stop by a dealer that is reputable. You know, right here, you come by, we could talk guitars all day long. You know, I'm not saying I'm an expert on everything, but I know a lot about certain things, and I'm better at that. But there's a bunch of great music stores here in Chicago as well, that are really just fantastic places to kind of start getting your feet wet. And you could really get into collecting vintage guitars for pretty inexpensive. You know, I know we spoke about $500,000 guitars or whatever, but you know, $500 could get you into a pretty decent vintage guitar.
What about amplifiers?
I'm a Fender amp guy. I mean, we don't carry a ton of amps here because they're just they're hard to ship. But you know, Fender, Marshall, Orange make some great amps. All those guys. But again, you can get into a decently priced amp for a couple $100, and you know, there's collectors obviously looking for the vintage amps, but then you're opening up a whole different can of worms as far as what you're getting. You know, you open it up and something's been changed or something like that, and the price goes down. But
well, you want to tell us a little bit about this guitar we've got here?
Yeah. So, you know, we've got a ton of guitars here. I just figured I'd pull out the most flashy one here. This is a Gretsch White Falcon. This guy's just it's not a vintage piece.
Is that with the Stray Cats? Did he play this?
Yeah, Brian Suss.
Brian Suss.
Yeah, he plays Gretsch. I don't know if he plays a White Falcon, but he's definitely I think he's got his own signature model out there. But you know, it doesn't get any more bling bling than this right here. So if you want to, you know, bust this out for Christmas and do little jingle bells, this is the guitar.
And Gretsch was, I mean, for me, being a huge Beatle fan, but Gretsch is what George Harrison played.
Correct. Yeah, George Harrison. And this is another Chicago company that started here. They're no longer made here. They're I think they do some U.S. models, but they're mostly made in Japan now, and which is fine.
Yeah. They I don't know if they're still at it, but they were building drums too.
They were.
Besides that.
Yes. Yeah. They did drums for a while. I think they still do drums, but.
What about Ovation?
Ovation, they're coming back, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any Ovations right now. Those are interesting guitars with the plastic scoop on the back.
Yeah.
They'd always fall off my while I'm playing.
I have one. I still have one. Like when they first came out, talk about a free commercial. But like if somebody big names would play an instrument, everybody had to have. So McCartney would play one. Cat Stevens helped popularize them.
Yeah, that's right. They're great guitars.
They are.
They sound great.
Their whole thing. I don't know if the guy was a airline designer or engines or something, but that plastic was supposed to project the sound out instead of like wood that holds it. But that gives it a whole nother.
Yeah, a whole different level of. And they're if you get the older ones, they're still pretty collectible. I mean, they're still out there. You can still find the vintage ones. But I think, like I said, they're coming back and remaking a lot of their older.
What about banjos? I see a couple here.
Yeah, I've got a couple banjos. I don't know how to play them, but we do have them.
Banjos, ukuleles.
Yeah, ukuleles, banjos. We have mandolins in and out of here. Anything with strings.
How many mandolins? 4 strings?
I believe it's got. Is it? No, it's.
Let's
6.
Google it.
Yeah. I should know this, right? Yeah. No, they make 12-string mandolins and I think 6.
All right, so finding out the website is what, revolution.com?
Yeah, you can find us at revolutionguitarcompany.com, also on Facebook, Instagram, and that's.
So we got lessons.
We got lessons. We do repairs, sales. You can stop by anytime, give us a shout. We're always in here talking about guitars, and we're always happy to, talk gear and hopefully sell you a nice little guitar.
Nice. I learned along the way a new word. A luthier. This guy builds guitars.
That's correct. Yeah, we have one of the best luthiers here, Dan. He's fantastic. So I mean, he could fix anything and make your guitar play like butter. That's what we say. So.
You told me that, and I was gonna say he worked on a 12-string for me.
What did you think?
I loved it, but
Yeah.
I think more like butter. It's more like extra virgin olive oil. It's beautiful.
That's right.
So he took a nice guitar and made it a great guitar.
That's what he does,
Yeah.
and he puts his time in and makes it really something special, Because I mean, you want a good playing guitar at the end of the day. It makes it easier for you.
It does. It really improved it. So, well, I'm a busy guy. I can't sit here all day. I appreciate you being on the show, and
Thank you so much.
check out Revolution Guitars here in downtown Elmhurst. All right, I'll talk to you
Always
later.
a pleasure. Thank you so
Ciao.
much. Ciao.